Just answering questions with WAPTEK. Closed wide, visual, spectroscopic, eclipsing, and astrometric binary stars versus JFK's weather war speech, responding to assertions left on my channel that I didn't let post because they're misleading, and maybe on purpose. Warning, this is not a response to the individuals who left it, this is a response to these subject matters, because they keep coming up, so I figured I'd cover them in one shot here. For more than 200 years, astronomers thought that most of the stars in our galaxy had stellar companions, binaries. Red dwarfs comprise over 80% of our galaxy stars as of now because we've been able to study them in the last 200 years, and most of them don't have stellar companions. So, most of the stars in our galaxy are not binary. Red dwarfs are the reference point here, but double stars, how about them? Well, that refers to two stars that look close together. They aren't necessarily. Sometimes they're light years apart, and they are not binaries. That doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form that they're binaries. Any percentage changes that you've detected over the years when you look this up depend on the definitions you give. And the actual definition for binary stars are that there are two stars that significantly affect each other gravitationally to cause them to orbit each other in a way that is significant, more significant than anything else anywhere. That's it. I had a video up that wasn't about binary star system or trinary star systems or whether they exist. Not all stars are binaries or have twins or even are next to each other. Saying you are sure that the preachers on the internet don't just spew unintelligible information ignores the fact that they actually do spew unintelligible, specifically unintelligible, or just simply incorrect information on an insanely regular basis. This is a direct response to that person. I can't tell if they're agreeing with me or disagreeing with me, but I'm saying this because internet preachers specifically, and internet doomsdayers very, very specifically, have only two options. Say something that everybody else can go look up by using the correct wording or the correct references and including citations like I do in my YouTube videos, or refuse to do so, be contrarian, and just say the opposite of what everybody else says. And I mean everybody else as in a majority of 99%, if we want to talk percentage and popularity. Someone doing research or having a formal education is not remotely equal to a meeting of the minds on the internet of amateurs that ignore said experts. That's contrarianism versus actual research. This is for other people who have done this. And that is not the only way or best way to understand the universe we are part of by doing it as science by popular vote. That's not how it works. If a person in most cases, refuses to even use a telescope to confirm whether or not the craters on the moon are three-dimensional objects instead of a hologram, I don't have to give them credence, and neither should anybody else. That's the reason we don't. Any more than a brain surgeon should only be based on whether or not they are actually a brain surgeon and not just someone claiming to be it. I would refer to a Saturday Night Live sketch with Steve Martin playing the barber who was doing surgery and bleeding people out who had already bled to death. But you don't get to do this by popular vote. Now we're going to go on to another thing that people do. This is called taking things out of context. 1961, September 25th, UN Assembly, JFK, cherry-picking one sentence out of apparently a 43-minute long speech. That equals a weather war speech. Here's the direct quote. And you can't respond or look this up unless you can do the following after I ask it. You can't go look this up, but I'm going to include the links. But before you look it up, you have to meet my challenge. We shall propose further cooperative efforts between all nations in weather prediction and eventually weather control. Many people have read that. All right? Your challenge, without looking it up. Do you remember any other part of that speech, or did you even know that it was before the UN General Assembly, 1961, September 25th, or not? Out of 43 minutes, apparently it's 43 minutes of him talking, that's the only thing anybody picks up. That's not just cherry picking, that's sad. Thanks for watching, have a good day, good luck with all that.